This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com.
Hey everybody, today's video is about overcoming a lot of challenges when it comes to painting. One of the biggest things is that a lot of people that do it make it look so easy, and they tell you it's easy because it comes easy for them. For me, it's always been a struggle, and I try to help a lot of you out, bring out the best that you could possibly do. I mean, none of us are going to be great or professional painters, but the idea is to be able to paint some of these wonderful, wonderful games that you have and bring some life to them and bring your imagination. Remember, the most important thing about painting is bringing out what's in your mind's eye. One of the most important attributes that you have is your imagination, your creativity within you that you don't realize that you have, and some of being able to see the things that you see when you close your eyes and be able to express that either on a canvas or onto a figure or however you choose to express yourself, whether it's through drawing or whatever. We all see things differently. So I think rule number one is if you see it and it makes you happy, then that's all you need to do. That's all you need to be able to bring out is what makes you happy, what moves you. And that is probably one of the most important lessons in painting. Now, as we all know, I am right now severely handicapped. I think that's the wrong way of putting it, but I'm at a disadvantage. The feeling on my fingers, they said they don't know if that'll come back. We'll see, because one of the biggest problems I have is I can't, you have that tingly thing, and maybe it'll go in time. We'll see. I hope so. But how do I overcome that? How do I overcome bad eyesight? How do I overcome, when people have bad backs and things like that? And this video here is going to show you some of the things that I tried to do to overcome my current situation, make sure that I can keep painting, okay, and do the thing I love so much, and that's express myself and help you guys. Maybe give you guys an idea, maybe have you see something the way I see it, and then going off on your own and doing your own thing with it. For me, that's the greatest joy that you can get out of painting or having a YouTube channel that has some painting on it. That, when you do paint, can you get somebody to pick up the brush? And the biggest problem, and that's number two, is not accepting the word can't. Okay, there's an old saying: there are those that believe they can and those that believe they can't. Either way, they're probably right. And if you believe that you can't, then guess what? You won't. It's as simple as that. But if you believe in your heart that you can, and you give it everything you got, okay, you can. You really can. So again, this comes to the point of us showing you a couple of easy ways on how to get through this, and we're going to have some figures on here, and I'm going to talk about certain things. We're not going to do any painting. We'll save that because we're going to go live, and I'm going to implement some of the things that you've seen here today, or maybe you'll catch whether I decided to paint yesterday, which is Monday, or later this afternoon like I plan on, which will be Tuesday when this is shown. So let's get a move on. Let's get started. Let's show you some of the things that can make things easier for you to paint and overcome some of the handicaps or disabilities or even disadvantages that you have going into painting. Let's go. Now, if you have a bad back, or even, in my case, I have a bad arm, I always suggest putting a pillow to bring yourself up higher than the table a bit. And I got myself one of those natural foam pillows that I sit on. And as you see, I got this little back brace that comes with this very nice chair. Always make sure you have a good chair if you're going to do some painting. The most important thing is to have good support. And for me, I want to keep my arm raised, and I want to be above the table because that's going to give me better control. And we'll talk more about control when I sit down. But having a good pillow that you can sit on and raising yourself up, this chair doesn't raise up, so I decided to raise it up myself. I like the chair, it's comfortable, but adding the pillow brings me up, and it's going to help make it easier for me to create balance when we get to the table. And speaking of the table, let's head on over there. Now, as you can see, I'm at the table and I'm sitting on that pillow, and it's bringing me up and it's keeping me centered to the area that I try to want to paint. I want to be able to have my arms on the table where I can establish control. Okay? I want to be able to control my paint. I want to be able to control my area. Now over here, I have a sweatshirt. You can use a small pillow or something like that. Oh, goodness me. And the thing that I want to do is I want to be able to keep my bad arm elevated. Now, some of you may have arthritis and things like that, and you'll find that a pillow stabilizes your arm a bit. It's going to help you out in a lot of different ways. And I'll just back this up a hair so you guys can kind of see. Don't worry about my face. Now, another thing that I find very, very, very important is having good balance here. Good balance and being able to not knock over a ton of paints and stuff like that. I have my water container close where my right hand I can clean up my brushes. I'll have any kind of paper towels over to my right. And just all I want to do with this particular hand is I want to make sure that I have all the pressure off of it, and that all I'm doing is using whatever I can for my fingers, which leads us to the next thing that I find very, very important. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is brushes. In a situation like this where my arm is completely no good to me, or some of you may have arthritis and things like that, so it's hard to hold smaller things. Go down and get some of the Master Touch brushes. As you can see, they have a thicker handle, some of them, and thinner tip. If you ever notice that the thinner tip always comes with a thinner brush head, these do the exact opposite, so it makes it a little easier to grab and move around. Another thing I really suggest is if you're painting and you are starting, or you have some kind of ailment, don't let the paint get away from you. Using these flip tops could be very, very hard because you're going to have to try to keep opening them and using the hand more than you want to. Okay, for me right now, most important thing I want to do is try to keep the hand guided. And a flip top, such as this, as you can see, you don't have complete control because you're going to have to use this other hand here to kind of get it in there. That's why I kind of suggest going with your army painters, your Vallejos and stuff like that, where you can squeeze out an amount that you need and control it on your palette here. And you always want to kind of have your palette close to you, a little water. You can mix with the other hand however you want to do it, and then just control on how you're going to get that onto our little friend here. Now, the next thing that really comes up is hand control. Okay, how much hand control do you have? Do you have enough hand control that is going to you're going to be able to hold on to a miniature like this? Or do you want to do something where you take a paint bottle, such as this, and tack it on top of? For me, you know, I've always felt very uncomfortable about that. But they also have other things out there that you can get and you can use. And you've seen it is our little display here. You can tack a bunch of these guys down. They also have clips for them, so you can actually take whatever paint you were going to use, and then of course, you know, come over, maybe even hold it here like this and make it easier for yourself and turn it there, and just get whatever. We're doing a wash right here on our frog friends from Alter Quest, and you're going to be seeing everything that we're going to be doing with those guys. But you're going to want to have control to get this over. This also came with a bunch of clips, like I said, and you could be able to clip it like this and be able to get all the areas that you possibly can without overdoing it. One of the most important things is not overdoing it. Do not overdo it and wear yourself thin. Number one, you're going to find that you know it's going to become a chore and a job, and that's the last thing that you want, is something that you know, a hobby, to become a chore. And if it becomes that, it's not fun anymore, is it? I've had that happen to me numerous times, where I pushed so hard to get things done that it wasn't fun anymore. Take that break that you need, walk away, do whatever you have to do. But the most important thing is don't allow yourself to be discouraged. Okay? I've painted for some time, and I've learned that a lot of times things don't look right when you're painting them first, but you have an idea in your head, and give it the time to go all the way through to the very end. And doing it, all of a sudden maybe something just clicks. It's amazing. There's been a couple of times that I've painted things and I go, wow, this looks horrible. And then when I added that color or that wash, and then all of a sudden it started to look what I was going for and what I was doing. Never give up on your project, and just always keep working at it. Again, making sure that you have a good stabilizing for yourself, or a good hand holder that you can hold every individual miniature works. Or like I said, something like this, especially if you're batch painting like I am, where you've got like 40 frogs that you got to take care of. You know, you don't want to be taking one off, taking one on, putting one on the one thing. Use this as the roundabout and tack them in all the way around, and then spin it around, and you'll find that you'll cut a lot of time out. So let's go down and take a look at a few more things. Now, speaking of our little frog friends here, as you can see, they're pretty small. So one of the things that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut some of the time out, especially if you have a hand injury or something like that. As you can see, I primed them a green. So what does that do? That takes out one of the colors and makes it a little bit easier in the painting process. Take a look at your model and pre-plan things. Find out what you're going to be painting. For instance, we have this big guy here, and some of these stone things here. I painted it gray already. Why? Because that's going to take half the battle out for me when I start doing certain things and getting this ready. You know, some washes and some dry brushes. And the big boy here, as you can see, wow, look at him. He is glorious. All right, getting him green for the most part, then just painting the other parts that we want to touch and fill. It's just going to make it that much easier for us, okay? Because most of his body's done. Now we just have to fill in the clothing, that wooden crate, a little bit of the armor, some of the slime coming out of his mouth. But for the most part, all we really need to do to kind of get this guy going a bit is to get some wash onto him. And of course, you know, I'm breaking every rule that I have by saying, hey, make sure that you use the wash out of the droppers. Because as you saw, how hard it was for me to control that. And just trying to get this over his face and his structure here. It's, as you can see, just getting that green on there really takes a lot of the hard work out for me and makes things a lot easier for me going forward. All right, let's move on to probably one of the most important part of painting, and that's your eyesight. You gotta have it. Now, one of the most important things is your eyesight. Whether you have bad hands or bad eyes, the combination could be devastating and can really take quite a bit of punch out of everything that you want to do. Now, I can tell you this much. One of the things that helped me is, number one, having some good reading glasses, because it does a couple of things. Smaller miniatures makes larger, and that helps your hands in a lot of ways. By having your miniature magnified, it looks bigger, and it makes it easier to paint because the area looks better. It actually fools your mind in a lot of ways. I always suggest trying to get some of these. We've mentioned it on the show quite a bit, and you always see me with these on, and they have adjustable lenses that you can take out a bunch of different lenses and use different lenses. I can actually keep two lenses on the same thing, and then of course a nice light, because light, the more light you shed on things, the better things are, right? So having that to blow up your miniature makes it where your hands, if you have shaky hands, like I do, of course, and or arthritis, or any kind of arm issue or muscle issue, it helps you to blow up the image, because then taking the brush and moving it in there, it, again, like I said, it fools the mind, and that's really important, especially when working on small figures. You want to be able to have that in front of you, square in front of you, and see it as big as possible. So with your arm steady, level, like I had, okay, on the table and steady, you're going to find that you're going to be able to manipulate with both arms, centered and squared, that you'll be able to get the strokes that you need to get you through this. So I hope some of this information is useful. Some of it, a lot of you probably already know. But these are some of the things that I'm trying to do to overcome some of the things that I'm going through right now. And maybe some of you are unsure about picking up a brush, like I said before, and maybe these things will help you. If not, just practice. Just sit in front of your table with yourself elevated and your arms steady, and maybe just holding something and looking at something, and gaining confidence without even thinking that, without having to go out and buy everything and try this and go, oh gee, I'm not sure I'm going to like it. Just give it a shot. See if you can get yourself steady, and watch how you progress. And if you keep and use these certain little tips, especially, some of us older folks that struggle with things like this, you're going to find in the long run it's going to help you to get a better product. Now, I'm painting Alter Quest right now, and I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter how this comes out. This is going to be one of my favorite paint jobs, because I felt I overcame something. I didn't let something hinder me or stop me. And that's, sometimes you think back to some of the things in your paint jobs and the things you're going through, or the things that you were thinking of at that time, and they bring back memories. And during this very difficult time for me, where it's hard to paint, this and some of the WizKit stuff that we're going to do later this week is really going to stand out for me as one of the things that I was able to, that no matter what happened, I fought through and gave my best. And that's all you need to do. All right, let's take it on top and get my final thoughts, and we'll get on out of here. Thanks, everybody. Now, I hope all that really helps you out, and I really hope that you'll pick up a brush. I know I will. I'll never stop. I'll keep on trying. No matter how long it takes to heal, we're going to try to do our best. It may not be as good as it used to be, and may not be that good at all. But the most important thing is that I give everything that I have to it and try it and do it my way and express it and make things maybe a little bit more colorful when we're playing a game or something. Make things more entertaining when we're playing a game. Build a little bit of theme. It may not be perfect, but I'll just give my best. And if you can give your best, like I said, that is the most important thing. And that's the best thing that you can do, is give your all and see where the chips fall. And if they fall the right way, hey, great. If they don't, that's all right. I'll try again tomorrow. I'll keep trying to get it the day after that, and the day after that. And some point, it'll go right. Remember, the harder you try is never the harder you fall. It's the harder you succeed. So just keep at it, and you'll get there. It takes some effort, but everything will be fine. And it's the same thing with this right here. We're going to just keep on trying and do our best. And we'll take it from there. All right, folks. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.